You know what time it is. It's your favorite social media coach, Tremel Howard. Coach Melle in the building with your favorite cool uncle, Uncle Flood, and they're going to take you inside the game. So sit down, relax, get your favorite beverage, and hang as they take you across the SWAT, especially in Southern University football and professional sports as they talk Monday Night Football here on Inside the Game. All right, let's get into it.
What up, what up, what up? We can't hear you.
There.
Oh, there you go.
Got me. Yeah. I said I knew you'd be coming in right about 30 seconds.
Listen, first of all, no sound checks, no anything, but I just got back from Jackson for the Battle of the Bands. So I've been running nonstop all weekend. The sun has warmed me thin. I am ready to go to sleep.
I know that's right.
So when we get done today, I am going to relax and get ready for another week. But
I know that's right.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the Game with your favorite Coach Melle and your favorite Uncle Flood. We are excited. This is our first show of the new season where we're coming back with a victory.
Yes.
So go Jags. Jags win. We beat Mississippi Valley 34-29 in a very tight, tough, really good matchup. I mean, we'll break down the game in a few, but I mean, listen, I'm happy to get a win. I tell people the name of this season is Survive and Advance. You win to live to fight another day. So go Jags, we get it done. Tell us about your experience. Tell us your initial thoughts about the game.
Oh man, it was ugly but effective. You know, the Jags, you saw some bright spots, but you saw some things that were unsettling. But the Jags got the victory in the end. I will give credit to Mississippi Valley, which I don't think a lot of people are doing. They are a much improved team. You see the direction that they're heading. If they can continue to play hard and find some consistency and kind of find an identity, they're going to have some more. They're going to have some victories down the road, and they're going to be a real tough out if teams don't watch them. So they aren't the same Mississippi Valley, that's for sure.
No, I mean, they had all kind of things going on I wasn't expecting. This dual quarterback system situation they had going on. One time you look up, it was 11. One time you look up, it was 12. One could run, one could throw. I was like, okay, Valley, like, y'all really mixing and matching some things. But, yes, tells you my eyes is low because I am tired, not because I've been doing the devil's juice. But, yeah, so they're really, 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 really good game. But how was your experience as a broadcaster? SWAC TV returned to or started its first broadcast with Southern versus Mississippi Valley. Unc had the honor of being the color analyst. I rewatched the game, the first half of the game today. So I heard all your commentary, your witty words and your experiences and all the things. So really, really excited for you. How was your experience with SWAC TV, Unc?
It was a lot of fun. Mo Carter was my broadcast partner. He was on play-by-play. I was on color. It was a lot of fun. It was interesting. We had some technical difficulties, but we got through them. We worked through them. You know, it is what it is. We weren't able to actually show our faces on television, so that was a new wrinkle. But you know, it was it was fun though. I had a ball and I enjoyed it. I want to thank everybody for all the compliments and for tuning in and listening to the broadcast. And want to thank everybody once again. Just like a lot of people hit me up and said they were listening. Appreciate you, all of y'all tuning in and listening. It was a lot of fun. Look forward to doing it again.
No, Tojan, the Mosquitoes and It'll Be None this week were actually on their best behavior, at least on my end. I feel like it was perfect. The tailgate spot was great with the trees and the shades. The campus was really pretty. It was in the middle of nowhere, but I mean, I really enjoyed it. This was my second time at It'll Be None. As a child, that was the one game that we did not attend. We never, ever, ever went to It'll Be None. So I've been 2 times as an adult, but I had a good experience. I mean, outside of, people like have these expectations when we go to these places. It's like, we know where we're going. Like, we're going in the middle of Mississippi in the country. Like,
the Mississippi Delta. It is what it is.
I think you get more enjoyment when you go to a place like that, when you just sit in the peace of what the place is. Like, it's very nostalgic to be in a place like the Delta. I used to live in the Delta, and so I just appreciate just just so many things that you can think through about the experiences. So yeah, I had a great time. The stadium was interesting, but we were on the shade shaded side. So shout out to Valley for taking on the Sun as the home team.
Yeah, I noticed that they had switched that over because it used to be that they would put the visiting team on the larger side and on the Sun side, and Mississippi Valley would be on the smaller bleachers. Now I noticed that they switched it over. They moved over to the Sun side of the stadium and put the visiting team on the press box side. So yeah.
I appreciate it. I was shaded. The people were really nice. We brought a bus. It was great. I had a great experience. I have nothing bad to say about Valley. And I'm glad that they didn't beat us on top of all of that. So
exactly.
So getting into it, let's give out some game balls for this week, and then we'll go into a breakdown of what we saw on Saturday and what to expect. We have a dogfight coming to the Bluff this weekend that I am looking forward to. And speaking of, my game ball this week actually goes to the quarterback of Alabama State. I had an opportunity to watch Andrew Body play against UAB in their opening game, and more so for the reason I'm giving him my game ball this week. Not only did he go out and perform very well against UAB, it's really something about his story that speaks to what I like to think about character and perseverance. We all know him from being at Texas Southern, then going to transferring to Alabama State, getting hurt, and just still continually persevering to have what looks to be a very promising future at Alabama State. He was HBCU Player of the Week. And he is also Coach Melle's game ball. I know he's our opponent this week, so I don't like him as much. But, it's just something to be said about a story of like Andrew Body's perseverance and how he continues to get up. And I just think that you can learn a lot from these young men. When we talk about these athletes, we're so critical of them when it comes to their game. And we're so critical of them when it comes to the things that, we see on the field. But there's so much to be said about the character that these young men have to have in order to get on the field, perform in the way that they do week to week to week. And Andrew Body's story is one that I commend and celebrate. And so this week, my game ball goes to quarterback of Alabama State, HBCU National Player of the Week, none other than Andrew Body.
Yeah, congratulations to Andrew Body. He played really well against UAB, put on a show, was nationally recognized, so shouts out to him.
Yeah. What about you, Unc?
My game ball, and I forgot to send this picture in because I didn't think about it until later. My game ball goes to Barry Remo, guy who came off the bench after running backs. Michael Franklin got hurt. The other kid, I don't know why I'm forgetting his name, but
Trey Holly.
Yeah, Trey Holly gets hurt. We go into our running back depth, and Barry Remo breaks a big touchdown that turns out to be the difference in the game. So shouts out to Barry Remo, guy from Catholic High, local Baton Rouge guy. That's who my game ball goes to.
Yeah, like they said at the beginning of the season, a running back by committee. And that's what we saw, running back by committee. And, we talk about, we'll get into the game shortly, the breakdown of just how people have to show up when, the next man up. It really needs to be, we need to think about that being the mentality already. So Southern wins 34-29 on Saturday. Break it down for us, Unc. What did you see? What did you like? What did you didn't like? What was the energy that you have as it relates to the game?
Still too many small mistakes, still too many small errors, too many false starts, too many dropped interceptions, too many dropped passes, too many fumbles, all of those things. I know people complain about the offense not being creative, but the fact is this game wouldn't have even been close if we didn't fumble the ball 4 times, 2 of which went for scores, 1 for a field goal and 1 for a touchdown. That's 10 points. You wipe 10 points off the board, it's not even a ball game at this point. And that's in the fourth quarter. When we were supposed to be able to depend on our running game, to run the clock and grind it out, especially against a team like Valley, our 2 starting running backs fumbled the ball and gave up big plays. We dropped a sure touchdown from the tight end. Right there, that's, what I'm saying? People talk about the offense, and I could have my complaints about it, but the fact is the players aren't executing. They drop too many passes. They fumble too much. We have 4 opportunities at interceptions, that takeaways that we dropped. So, yeah, I'm just, those are the things. And those are small things, but they're big things because they kept Valley in the game. If we don't make those errors, or even if we cut those errors in half, this game isn't even close.
Yeah, I think same thoughts about the game. I think obviously we'll get into like the what's to come next week and then what we can kind of expect. But I rewatched the game today, and one of the things that I noticed so often is like we'll get a big play. So let's say we get a 40-yard run, then the very next play we'll get a false start, illegal substitution, just all of these things that are just literally about to me. And we give the coaches such a hard time. Like we're on them as we should because they're coaches. They're getting paid to be accountable to.
Oh, you got muted. We can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
I don't know what happened. It just stopped. You just stopped talking. Anyway, I think I know what you said. We give the coaches a hard time, but a lot of that is on the players. A false start is not a coaching issue, but it's a discipline issue. So in a lot of ways, it goes back to the coaches. Melle, they said they can hear you. I can't hear you, but apparently you can still be heard. So,
so the people can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Can I get a comment if you guys can hear me? I know Unc can't hear me, but can you guys give a comment if you can hear me? This is gonna be funny. Well, I'm assuming that people can hear me, so okay, they can hear me. So as Uncle was saying, we spend a lot of time holding the coaches accountable, but a lot of the things that happened on Saturday when it comes to the full out game plan was about execution. I mean, people were in position to make plays that they did make plays. I too 100% agree with folks as they talk about offensive play calling need to be better. Like I 100% think that is a major fix for us, but execution is the name of this game. And as we think about going forward, like if players are prepared and they're not executing, then we get the results that we all don't want to see, which is another.
I can't see anything or hear anything, so I don't know if I'm being heard.
We can hear you, Unc. Let me call him, y'all. I'm gonna call Unc. Unc needs technical difficulties. Hold on 1 second, Unc. And we may have to do this like real streetwise. And I'll call. We talk on the phone. 1 second while we get Unc's technical difficulties together.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Unc, we can hear you and see you, so we'll just stay on the phone so we can hear each other and they can hear both of us. So just come back on, and I'll keep you on the phone.
Okay, because I couldn't hear or see.
Yeah,
okay, I can hear you, so
you can hear me on the phone, right?
Yes, I can hear you on the phone.
Okay, well, and you back on the show?
I guess I am. I don't know. I'm hearing you, so I'm hearing you through the phone, but I'm not seeing you. Nothing is on the screen for me. I see you on the screen, but I'm not seeing anything else. So.
Yeah, you're black on the screen. Can you guys talk to the show?
Yes, I can.
Well, if we can't hear Unc, we can hear him through the phone and on the computer. So hopefully they can hear both versions of you.
Let us know if y'all can hear me. I don't know if they can hear me or not, but I don't know. Yes, I'm on Wi-Fi. See, they always try to I'm on Wi-Fi. My stuff is together on this side. So they always try to blame me. No, it's not me.
Okay, they're saying that they hear both of us on, so let's just continue.
Let's go with it.
So what I'm saying is, what I was saying before we got disconnected, is that they can't see you right now, but we can hear you, so we're just going to push forward. What I'm saying is we hold the players accountable often as it comes to this, but the reality is like it takes execution in order for us to be successful on the field. So if you can have the best game plan ever, if the players are not executing, then we have different issues that are happening.
Exactly. And, you can, like I said, you talk about the coaches, and they do deserve some criticism, and the preparation of the players falls on the coaches. But
Correct.
The fact is, if the players don't execute even what they're given, like, I've seen people say, well, they should be doing this, they should be throwing screens. They're not executing the basics in a lot of cases. So holding on to the football is a basic. Catching the football is a basic. Not having false starts are basic things. And they're right now they aren't executing those things. So
I'm hesitant to say the coaching staff should be moving forward and adding more wrinkles where they aren't executing the basics. Like Valley literally threw 4 balls into our defensive back's hands and they missed them all.
Yeah, I mean those drop interceptions were something. We had 2 like on the same drive, and I mean you're talking about a different game as it relates to just the outcome of a game when you can execute on those things. And I think that that level of execution is the difference between a team that's being subpar and a team having the opportunity to be championship worthy. And I think people are giving the team, and I saw your post earlier, Uncle, you talked about Jag on Jag violence, so would love to hear more about that. But I think it's really unfortunate that as we think about the season and the makeup of it, and the fans, and we talked a lot about this at the beginning of the season, and just the conversations that happen post game, even in victory. Like, we won the game on Saturday. Like, be it Valley, be it whomever, like, we actually won the game on Saturday, and that matters. And winning the game, matters. And so it's very interesting to think about the conversation. But we'd love to hear more about your take on as it relates to the Jag on Jag violence stuff.
I'll tell you, we've become a miserable fan base. Like, we become a truly, everything that I dislike about other fan bases, we've become those fan bases. Like, we're not happy about anything. We can't enjoy anything. And it's gotten to the point where it's starting to be inter controversy or inter nastiness between Southern fans. And it's because one side is all gloom and doom, and one side is all sunshine and roses. And it's got to be some kind of happy medium, and you don't have to dislike each other because you have different opinions or just go too far. Like, what prompted me to make that post was just two gentlemen that I both know who are good people just going too far, just getting too personal with each other for absolutely no reason, arguing over whether Southern is going to have a good football season or not. And it just you get too personal. And I have to remind people, these are 18, 19, 20, these are basically 18 to 24-year-old kids who are playing a game, who are trying to get an education or trying to further their career, whatever they're trying to do. We have to start putting this in perspective. Too many grown-ass men, I'm sorry, excuse my French, but too many grown people have too much invested in whether Southern loses or wins or loses a football game in terms of how they deal with life and how they go through the week. And it just, I just want people to step back and really examine that you can have differing opinions, and it doesn't have to be all gloom and doom, because at the end of the day, the world is not going to end because Southern doesn't win a football game or Southern doesn't have a winning football season. And at the end of the day, if we win the Celebration Bowl, that's not going to back into see what happens.
Okay. I can see myself again. Can you guys hear us back again? Can you see me again?
I can see you, but I'm still not coming up.
Okay, well, you're not here, but I think they can still hear us on. So Uncle's just going on about talking about his jag on jag violence post that he made today, and he was just in the middle of talking about some of our fan base and the way that they engage after we win or lose, and what that means to their life. So if you can continue, Uncle, I think we're back.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're back. Make sure you guys can hear me. But what I was saying is that we invest too much, and I think a lot of it has to do with our own personal egos, our own personal thing about having bragging rights, being able to say, "Oh, we beat y'all." I don't think it's about the kids or even the university in a lot of cases. And I think sometimes we need to step back and just gather some perspective on both sides. It's we need to gather. It's not all doom and gloom. And the thing we have to realize when we get out, and I've said this before, when we get on social media, we make these posts about, negative posts about the coaching staff and all of that. To me, that's stuff that should be kept in-house. That's stuff that should be kept in-house. But that's just me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That I'll voice that because I put what I put on social media today on because I witnessed two gentlemen that I know pretty well, who are both good people, getting really personal with each other and getting really nasty with each other. And it just made me say something because I'm like, okay, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't like to see that. And if I don't say anything, then, I feel like I might be, hey, look at there.
You're back.
I'm back. But, I feel like if I don't say anything, then it just goes by and I feel like it escalates. And you have two people who really don't know each other, but are both good guys who are now who had this confrontation on social media. And instead of being, rectified or them taking a step back and really listening, then it escalates. You have two people liking each other, disliking each other, who really don't know each other.
Yeah, I think that's the unfortunate part. I think that's part of what I tell people. So even as a president of the quarterback club, I tell people all the time, like my job and my goal as an ambassador, because we all are ambassadors for the institution, and ambassador for athletics is there's going to always be problems. Whether we win every game or not, there's still going to be problems that exist within the institutional system and makeup and everything. And so my approach to Southern and my approach, and I'm very open and candid about when things are not going, in the direction that I feel like we can be better in. I'm very vocal about that, but not in a way to bring harm to the institution. It's kind of like family. Like, you can hold your sisters and brothers accountable, but at the end of the day, they are your sisters and brothers. And your mama always told us, my grandparents always say it, like, what goes on in this house stays in this house. And when you leave this house, like, we are family, no matter what, because it's us against everybody else. And so it really is always disheartening because people are constantly complaining. And many of us have brought solutions to the table that those same people are not a part of. Those same people don't want to go about doing things in a way that ignites actual impact and change for our student athletes in our institution. And so instead, like someone just posted, like, social media is a disease. Like, they rather get on the Blue app, create narratives and loud, chaotic responses. And then to what end, though? Like, what are you actually getting off of these, like, 35-page thesis statements where you're constantly complaining? And I'm not saying, to your point, I think I find myself in a happy medium. I'm not all in doom and gloom, and I'm not also sunshine and roses. And so that medium helps me think about what can Trammell, in the positions of power and the positions of place that I hold, do to help the institution thrive, despite the circumstances that I may not like. Exactly. There's a lot of things that have happened to me via Southern University that I would never speak about publicly because I love the institution too much. I would never talk about some of my experiences with some of the things that I've experienced because I love, if you know me, you know I love Southern University. And at the end of the day, there is no person that is bigger than this institution that is Southern. Like, in and out, Southern's gonna remain. Whether I support it, Southern will be here. And so, how do we? It drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. Southern has been around 150 years, and it's people get so good. And I say this with love, but people confuse the people and the institution. Regardless of when we are dead and gone and become dust, Southern University has to survive.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be the one. My epitaph is not going to be something that I wrote on social media that's tearing down Southern University and then claiming to be a loyal Jaguar. And that's not saying you're disloyal because you have criticism, but if all you can do is criticize and you're not about affecting change other than getting on social media, then basically, you're not doing anything. You're just being a complainer.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people do. And I have a pet peeve about calling for people to be fired on social media, especially when you can have personal contact with that person. Like, I don't believe in calling for a man or a woman's job and then seeing them and acting like I didn't say anything.
Yeah, that's
to me, that's not adult. That's not manly, especially. It's not manly to me. Like, and I mean manly in the sense of standing on your word. Like, you get on social media and you call for somebody's job and you say they should be fired, and you're talking about affecting somebody, how they feed their family, how they pay their bills, but yet when you see that person, you either avoid them or you cower in a corner, or in some cases you're shaking their hand and pretending like you didn't say that. To me, that's not an adult. I have an issue with that, and especially the people who are always demanding that somebody be fired, and you don't even know what goes along with doing their job. Like, you don't really know if this person is not doing their job well. You're just making assumptions because you can't make a decision at your job to change the copy paper, but you're going to tell somebody who has a multi-million-dollar budget what they should be doing at their job. What you should be doing is being better at your job.
Yeah.
Being better at your job, and then you can tell somebody else about you could give recommendations to other people about what they should do at their job that you actually have no training, no experience in, know nothing about, but you're going to tell them what to do. And everybody has their faults. You can complain about a lot of things, but I just have a pet peeve about getting on social media and calling for somebody to be fired when you absolutely when you're not even the best at your job.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating all around, and I think that there's like so many. It's layered. It's a layered. Because at the end of the day, what I truly do believe is true. No matter how people approach it, I truly believe that folks want to see, and we're talking about football now, so we want to see the football program be successful. We want Southern University to win football games. We want Southern University to be, in our glory days, what that meant, like Southern wins another championship and another one. And so I just really think, and we always talk about this, like the approach. It drives me crazy right now, especially in the season with so many, we are 2 games in. We played and we won one. We're literally batting 500 right now. And everything that we want to be true about our season is still in front of us. And if you watch football last week, you know that there's going to be some weeks where we're going to be like, dang, such and such should have been such and such and such. Like, this is going to be what I'm looking forward to the most about this SWAC football season, is that there are going to be some weeks where we're like, I know Valley didn't just beat X school. I know X school didn't just lose to said school. So we're 2 games in, and everybody, and even and I'm gonna just put it out there, you have these certain schools who are thinking that they were gonna be, the Kansas City Chiefs of the SWAC, and go out in their first game, and it's looking like, whoa, buddy, like, hey, and so it's like we have so much ahead of us, and I just want us to remember that, remember that we have, they have people. And we talk about this so many on the show, making comparisons about us losing a recruiting battle because of a certain quarterback going to another institution and performing well. And I'm like, bro, they played 1 game against Langston. It's like, why are we, there's a false equivalence to say that Southern is losing a recruiting battle We don't recruit local talent because we lost, and we talked about this before, so I don't even, this isn't even about Zay. It's like the idea that a person can be successful in another place because there's a better fit for them is okay. That does not have anything to do with us playing the way we played against Valley. Whether it was Zay, Noah, whom Noah had an amazing game over at Edward Waters last week. That has they found their fits, and that is what football is. In life is about, finding your fit and being successful in it. And so it's just so crazy the false equivalence that people make because of what happened in one game that we won. We won the game.
Exactly. Just because you might not be good at Burger King flipping the burgers, you might be great at McDonald's on fries. You just have to find your thing.
Find your thing, find your program.
Find your thing, man.
And I mean, and comparing apples. But at the end of the day, the beautiful part about all of this, it all will play out. And so going back to the game, thank you guys for indulging us in that conversation. What was your high point of the game, Unc? Your low point of the game? And if you had one fix before next week, what would it be?
My high point of the game was finally seeing Barron get a touchdown. You know, them going deep. Him and the Barry Remo run were my two high points. Those big catches, that big catch and that big run. My low points of the game was, of course, seeing Jaylen get hurt and the referees not throwing the flag or no penalty. Not just not throwing the flag. That's one low point, but him getting injured the way that he was, and that feeling that, it was just, oh man, that was just a terrible feeling. I think all of us had that moment of pause and the kind of traumatic moment for Jaylen. So that was my low point.
Before you go into your fix for next week, tell us, could you go break down the low point a little more for as much detail as you can provide about the why? Because I know a lot of people are calling for it to be a targeting call. People wonder why a flag went thrown, to review it, etc. For what you can tell us, if you can go into that.
Well, I can tell you this: the replay system was out, but the replay system would not have come into effect because the officials didn't throw a flag on the initial play. What was said was, and this is public, they said that he slid too late. Which, I mean, that's a judgment call, but it should have been a flag thrown, in my opinion, because there was obvious contact to the head and neck area. I mean, they literally knocked him out cold. So it was a screw up by the officials.
Yeah. And typically what you see in that situation is but to your point of the replay system being out, you typically see them throw a flag regardless, just so that they have the opportunity to review it, and then they can come back and say what it was it wasn't, and then proceed. And I think that's what most people anticipate or expect, just for the sake of how hard the hit was in that moment.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, normally you would have seen the flag thrown on that, and it probably should have been thrown. To put it point blank, as someone who's working for SWAC TV right now, they've asked us not to be too critical of the officials. So I'll just say that, in my opinion, I felt like a flag should have been thrown, and then they could have gone to review, and however it comes out after it's reviewed, then you go with what it is. But in my opinion, you had a young man who took an obvious hit to the head and was knocked out cold on the field, and it wasn't a good look for the officiating crew of that game.
Yep. And so shout out to Jaylen. He returned back to the stadium, traveled back with the team, and we'll get an update tomorrow during the press conference as it relates to what's happening with him as well as him. Go ahead.
Before we go ahead and before we do our changes of keys to what we need to improve on, let's talk about our sponsors, man. We got a couple of nice sponsors here. You guys, if y'all can pull it up, my man Pat McGee Law Firm down in Lafayette. He's one of our great sponsors. And if you need a great lawyer, Pat is a alum of the Southern University Law School, Law Center. His number is 337-476-2433. Pat McGee and the Patrick McGee Law Firm here in Lafayette, Homer, where we're on the air, Alexandria, where we're on KTTP 1100 AM, Baton Rouge, wherever you are in the state of Louisiana. Call Patrick McGee's Law Firm in Lafayette, Louisiana. And 337-476-2433.
That. Yes, we're back.
Okay, glad to be back. And I want to also the Southern University Ag Center. They're one of our major sponsors, man. They do a lot of great work over at the Ag Center. So Southern University Agricultural Center, you can check them out, 771-2272, if I can get the number out, 225-771-2272.
Yes.
Southern University Agricultural Center, they have so many great programs that we're going to be spotlighting as we go on in the show. But I just wanted to make sure that we talked about our great sponsors here on Inside the Game. And you too can become a sponsor, become a part of the action, become a sponsor of Inside the Game with Coach Melle and Uncle Flood. You can.
And for all of you people who ask all them questions all the time and to read the report, I'm going to have a special message for you this week. So make sure that you become a sponsor of Inside the Game. Make sure you also check out our website. This QR code is there on the screen. If you have a business and are interested, reach out to myself or Unc so that we can get your information, get your commercial on the show. It's because of you guys that we're able to continue to do the show. So again, be a part of the action, get in the game, be on the show. So back to our game. What is the fix for next week that you saw for our game?
Man, we just got to execute, man. We got to work on the little things, not fumbling the ball, getting takeaways when they're given to us, and focusing on the things like not getting false starts, things like that. Like, if we could work out the little kinks, then I'm pretty much sure that this team can be a very competitive ball team if they just stop getting in their own way. Make tackles. We still not tackle. Like I said, it's the fundamental things. It's not, people want to talk about the exotic things. It's like play calling. No, it's the fundamental things. It's blocking, tackling, catching the football on both sides. Our receivers drop passes. It's the fundamental, simple things that I know that they work on in practice. This is a focus issue for the players. And the players have to lock in and focus. They do a good job of playing past their mistakes and putting the mistakes behind them, but they have to start eliminating those mistakes.
Yeah, and I think that going into my high point, and you know, even though Valley scored 29 points, 10 of those points was off of turnovers where the defense had given the ball to the offense, and we came back immediately and fumbled two possessions in a row, and I think that was like the third quarter. So my high point of the game is actually the progress of the defense. We have a long way to go. But from week to week, there was a better focus assignment. And there were some plays that was like, what are we doing? But I think that there was some progress in the defensive play. And so if we can continue that progress week to week, the D-line still needs work to, providing pressure. But there was moments. There was moments that I saw where they were there. And to your point about execution, angle here, angle there. We're talking about like sacks and tackle, and so I think the defense was my high point. My low point, to your point, is always discipline. We just have to stay away from the penalties, stay away from the drop interceptions. Those drop passes. I mean, we had 2 drop interceptions. One of them looked like could have probably been a pick 6. Drop touch, like it was just so many things to your point about execution. And so, what's your fix and key for next week? As we think about, you said those things, but any specific?
Run the ball, coach. Run the ball, coach. I don't care what anybody says. Inside handoff, inside zone, outside zone, power, quarterback power. Run the rock, coach. Don't listen to these people in the stands who want you to throw bubble screen. Run the football, coach.
Listen, no, I'm serious, and I think I put this in the Coach Melle report. We were averaging 4.5 yards per carry. If you think about third down needing 10 yards, if you run the ball every down, you're going to continuously move the ball, and it may not be as pretty as people want to see, but there were moments where it was like we would get 7 yards on a run. And the very next play, to your point, we running like some out route, like Debo Samuel when somebody is over there. Like, what are we doing? Like, you said it in preseason, the coaches said it. We have a running back by committee. And I'm impressed with that group. If they can secure the ball and just hold on to the ball, they dragging people. I mean, we can get some yards. And so, to your point, I think we have to run the ball. Alabama State's defense was not that impressive in their game, their opening game. I mean, they had moments as well, and they played, but I think that we can establish a run game, a successful run game on this week. It's the first home game. I'm really excited about being back in Mumford at nighttime or night-ish time. I remember back in the day when games just started at 7:00, like real night games, but night-ish time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup. I am looking forward to the matchup with Alabama State. But before we go into predictions for next week, preview of next week, I want to go through some of the scores from last week and get your thoughts about SWAC football. There were some interesting games. And so I'm going to pull up the schedule in 2.5 seconds and talk about our SWAC games from last week. So the very first game that I want to dig into, we had, where are we at? Here we go. SWAC. I have my whole. Back?
I think we are back.
We're back. We had Jackson State 28, Hampton 14.
Tight ball game until the end, Jackson State. But you know what? A lot of people say, well, I can't believe Jackson State played Hampton. Hampton played Jackson State that close. I can believe it. Hampton is a pretty good ball club. They had some misfortune last year. But I think they're a pretty good ball club. They always tend to have some good athletes at Hampton. So I wasn't surprised. First game, Jackson State came out, and they did what champions do at the end of the game, though.
Yep.
They put them away. They put them to bed, and that's what championship level programs do, man. So I wasn't surprised that in the first game, Hampton came out and played well and gave Jackson State a tough battle. I think that was the reason why you play Hampton on in the opening game, because you want that kind of game. But Jackson State came out and did what they needed to do. They played tough, hard-nosed football. They ran the ball, and when they needed to get big plays, they made them. And they put, at the end of the game, they put Hampton away.
Yep. Arkansas Pine Bluff 7, Texas 67.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I mean, it just is what it is. They get the check cash.
The check. You know that Texas check cash. So Arkansas Pine Bluff.
That Texas Tech check cash. So that's what it is.
Alabama A&M 7, Arkansas 52.
I know that chicken check cash. I know that Tyson chicken check cash. So
yeah.
But Alabama A&M did not back down. They came out in the first series. And if I'm not mistaken, they got a 3-and-out, and then they drove the ball down the field and put points on the board in the first quarter or so. So they played pretty well. For being overmatched, they played pretty well. They showed some signs and some sparks. So Sam Shade, looks like he has that program on a good path right now. We'll see as the season goes on, but yeah, it looks like they're on a good path.
Yep, interesting game this weekend. We'll get to it shortly. Langston 7, Grambling 55.
Grambling came out and took care of business. They did what they were supposed to do. You get an opponent like Langston, and you go out and you play ball and you put them out of their misery. Nat with a sledgehammer, and that's what Grambling did.
Howard 10, FAMU 9.
Old rivalry right there. Old MEAC rivalry. Howard has had a pretty decent program the last few years, as they should. It's a what they were in the past was just shameful. So I'm glad that they're at least competitive now. I mean, you brag about being the Mecca and you have this big budget and all of that, but you don't ever win any championships. Okay, I mean, you go here and there, you win a championship in bowling, something else or whatever, but in the main sports, you're hardly competitive every now and then. But so I'm glad to see Howard has finally made a commitment to trying to win something in athletics, in the big athletic sports. So, you know, shouts out to them. That's an old school rivalry. FAMU, I know the Rattlers are not happy right now. They're going to be rumbling. They're a lot like Southern. So, you know, they probably doom and gloom over there too. But, hey, the season continues. They still have 11 more games to play. So we'll see how it goes.
And probably the most entertaining game of the night, Purview 22, Texas Southern 21.
Interesting game. Some bad blood. So I should say it got stirred up. There was already bad blood just because of the natural rivalry, but it got stirred up between the coaches. PV able to, get some things going their way, able to go, I think it was 90 yards in 50 seconds, and then ended up winning the game on a 2-point play. Yeah. Hey, Coach Jermaine getting his first victory. You know, there was a lot going on, but PV and Texas Southern is PV and Texas Southern. I don't know how much you gathered from that game or whatever, but it was a great game. It was probably the best game of the season so far.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I don't know how much you gather from that game, but what you do gather is that Purview is going to be, Texas Southern. I think Texas Southern has so many opportunities. And, you know, in all of the things, people talked about the referees, the officials on the last drive, and they kept a drive alive a couple of times for Purview. But on that last play, it's like Texas Southern just had a lapse in defense. Like the guy ran straight up the middle. Like, you have no time on the clock, 1 second, one play. The name of the game is protect the end zone. He walked in the end zone. He literally walked, like caught the ball, turned around, touchdown. And so it's unfortunate because it feels like Texas Southern continues to have the bad. I'm still dreaming about how we got out of that game last year. And it's like
they are a snake team. They really are.
Like, Texas Southern, whoever you harmed, I am asking you after November 15th to fix it for the people, because that is
one
just
thing I can say now. This clears up of being accused of putting some kind of juju on them. Because clearly it is not just against Southern. Because, you know, it was like 2 years in a row that they blew games against Southern. You remember the Kelby pick up and run for the touchdown. The quarterback just drops the ball. So they were swearing that the people at Southern had put some kind of juju on them. So now we know it's not just us. They are just snake bit.
They are snake bit. And that was tough. That was an interesting commentary. As we think about what's to come. And so as we move on into this week, we have some interesting games. And so I'll take your predictions at this moment. We have everybody's pretty much in action. First up, Grambling at Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. Take the points, take the over, take whatever it is. I don't wish that, even on Grambling. I don't wish this. Hey, it's $1 million, but is it really worth it?
Yeah, enjoy the vibes.
Ain't no vibes to that.
Well, the horseshoe, like the horseshoe.
If you're a sports fan and you admire stadiums, I guess so. Yeah.
Because I've been once, and it really is a nostalgic place, and I haven't been for a football game just to visit. Enjoy the vibes. But you know what's crazy? I believe that this may be the first time in history that a PWI band beats an HBCU band. No shots fired, Graham, world fame. But I think this.
Yeah, this is not going to be a good look. Shouts out to Grambling, but it's Ohio State. But at least, like you said, at least you could go and say, well, halftime was not so much. As my man, as the old man who just stepped down Lee course, I would say, not so fast, my friend.
Enjoy the vibes. And we'll have a show dedicated to these types of games, experiences. Because what I much rather the Grambling versus Jackson State in Vegas over Grambling having the charter like go to Ohio State and play for like that. It just, from a facilities, resources, it just doesn't feel right. And I've always felt like this as it relates to money games. You know, and especially like, you know, Grambling going to LSU, I get the state context of it, but like traveling all the way to Ohio State, I mean, experience, yes, but it doesn't feel worth it. But we'll talk about that at another moment. Jackson State and Southern Miss.
Going to be an interesting ball game. Jackson State is, you know, they have a lot of talent. Southern Miss seems to be on the upswing. They brought in a new coach from Marshall, who I think is actually a Hampton alum. I think he's a Hampton alum, but he coached at Marshall, left Marshall, took the job at Southern Miss. His wife actually used to be the basketball coach at Mississippi Valley.
Nice.
At one point, yeah. So they have some ties to Mississippi. They have, you know, he has HBCU ties. I think it's going to be, on paper, seems like it might be a pretty good matchup. I don't know, because Southern Miss he has improved. He brought in a lot of transfers from his program at Marshall, which was a winning program, a bowl program. So he brought a lot of those guys with him. So Southern Miss is instantly improved from the 1 or 2, however many out there that had more than 3 wins last year. So I think Jackson State may be running into a buzzsaw, but I'm sure Jackson State is more than capable of keeping it respectable and making a game out of it.
You know, I agree. Very interesting fan commentary happening with that matchup. Our, you know, USM wants to be the wannabe HBCU, and so some very, very interesting fan conversations happening around that game and in the blogs and posts. Yeah, I mean, we went up to USM once before. Interesting place. So it's going to be interesting to see how that game plays out, how it, you know, looks, and if Jackson State beats them, that will be a very even more interesting conversation. So I don't normally root for Jackson State, and I will root for them in silence this week. But
the USM-J State game would be a good game. It's going to be interesting. I'm not saying one way or another. I have my sneaking suspicion is that it won't be as close as people think it will be.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and then games like this are interesting because I think Jackson State played ULM a couple years ago, and you know that game could have been a lot closer than it ended up being, and Jackson State has some opportunities, so it will be interesting to see what plays out.
Yes.
FAMU is traveling to Florida Atlantic after losing to Howard.
I don't know. I don't know what Florida Atlantic looks like this year. FAMU, hopefully they can get it rolling, but I would fully expect Florida Atlantic to handle Florida A&M.
I agree. Texas Southern is traveling to Cal.
Long way to go. I hope that check is, you know, I know it's probably about $500,000. Just as long as the check cash, do what you got to do. Go up there, play hard, see what you can do. If you hang in the game through 3 quarters, then you got a shooter's chance. Do that, but I fully expect Cal to go in there and take care of Texas Southern.
Mississippi Valley State at Tarleton State.
Tarleton is about to put it on Valley. Tarleton is coming off an upset victory over Army. And so Tarleton has been an upping. Tarleton was D2 about 5 years ago, and they made a recent move to FCS, and they've been on the come up ever since then. I fully expect Tarleton to, you know, take it to Valley, but it's a new Valley. I hope Valley goes in there and plays tough like they played against us. And if so, then it could be a decent ball game. But I fully expect Tarleton to go in there and Valley to go to Tarleton and get taken care of. You know, Tarleton is a good program.
I'll get to this game at the end. UT Rio Grand Valley is traveling to Purdue.
That's going to be interesting because I don't know a lot about UT Rio Grand Valley. Purdue, these are the type of games that Coach Jackson said that he wanted to win. He wants to win these out-of-conference games against a program like UT Grand Valley. This is a great opportunity. They're going to be in Purdue. Hopefully Purdue takes care of business. I'm gonna stick with them, and I think Purdue wins that game.
Great pick. Bethune-Cookman is traveling to Miami. Well, your silence says enough.
Bethune probably is bringing their band because they don't bring them anywhere else. So
They're going up the street. They have to bring them to Miami. And this is water, by the way, folks.
Miami is from Bethune to Miami is about an 8-hour trip, man.
Yeah, but it's still we'll see. Yeah.
You know, they only go past Orlando. That's the only trip that man makes is to Orlando.
Arkansas, I'm gonna leave it those alone because some people ain't never did me nothing. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Central Arkansas.
You know what? Central Arkansas used to be a really dominant program. They aren't as good as they used to be, but I still think they're better than Pine Bluff.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Central Arkansas next.
I agree. All right, one of two SWAC matchups for the week. This is going to be an interesting one to me. Alcorn State and Alabama A&M.
Oh, A&M is about to beat those people.
So you have no faith in Alcorn?
That is in
Huntsville.
That's in Huntsville.
Yep.
Yeah, they're about to beat Alcorn. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Alcorn last week, it didn't look good.
Alcorn's defense is pretty good. Alcorn's defense is pretty good, but their offense is atrocious.
Yeah. It didn't look good last week. It didn't look good at all. I'm like, man, I know we've had our moments, but Alcorn, I've never seen Alcorn look. That was back in the days when you could walk up to the reservation at 2:30 for a 2:30 game. It just didn't.
That was back in the Cordell Jones era.
Yeah. It didn't look good.
Yeah.
And last, but certainly not least, the home opener for the Southern University Jaguars as we take on Andrew Body, Coach Eddie Robertson Jr., and
Southern wins.
Alabama State.
Surprises the crowd, surprises our fan base, surprises the SWAC. Southern wins.
Any score prediction?
They run the ball. Cam McCoy is probably going to get to start. If he can get any semblance of a passing game working, we're going to see Andrew Body and Cam McCoy go at it, which could be very entertaining. I think Southern wins the game now.
Score prediction.
Southern 45.
Lord, my stress just jumped up my chest.
Southern 45, Alabama State 38.
After the weekend we had, I really don't need a game like that, but that is going to. I'm gonna just go ahead and take my pressure pills early. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great game. I do think we're gonna come out victorious as it relates to this game. It's gonna be interesting. It's so many things around the game that people are literally talking about. Baton Rouge is the place to be this weekend, and I love that. I love that the band. What happened with the bands last night added intense fire
to.
To
talk about that before we get out of here.
Yes. Okay. So, yes. So for our band moment, I'll talk about what happened last night. So we participated in the Labor Day Battle of the Bands Bayou Classic. Labor Day Battle of the Bands in Jackson, Mississippi. So let me first say that I think the event has potential to be a signature event year after year after year. You had 10 battles, 10 bands, most of them from the SWAC. Field show instant.
Except for the band that's awfully duplicated.
Langston. They messed up. They messed up with that, and I was like, wait, what? But they also, Langston they sounded really, really good. Most bands there last night sounded really good. So what happened was Alabama State versus Southern was the first round of stand battles. Southern goes first. We play a song. Sounds amazing, but literally no one knows what we're playing, like me included. I'm like, why did we start the battle with this? Like we have a book from the games alone that could have been good enough for like a battle like this. Alabama State plays a song and the crowd is just like rocking. Everybody knows it. Southern comes back and then Alabama State plays another song that everybody knows. So people like Alabama State cooks Southern. The only thing that I would say, and I made a post about this. I love our band. I love Dr. Taylor. We have an issue with right song, right moment, right time. And so I believe that the reason that we were quote unquote got cooked was because of our song selection in the moment. That's it.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean, Southern sounded great. Alabama State sounded great. But when you're in a battle like that, it's about crowd pleasing. And the way to please the crowd is when they can instantly, or not maybe always instantly, but can pick up on the song and And that's where the mayhem came from. But I think it creates great energy for what's to come. I'll be seated at 4:30 on Saturday to see everything. And the dolls were great. But I think overall, you're not a band fan, so I'm glad that you asked me this. But overall, the SWAC is primed to be
very good,
amazing.
I have to add an addendum. I hate to interrupt, but you say I'm not a band fan. There's a reason why I'm not. I like bands, but there's a reason that I have this issue with the bands nowadays. It is because of my upbringing. What I see now out of most bands, what I see out of most bands is a bunch of bands who are acting like the jukebox that I grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
Like every band is trying to out-juke the juke. Like every band plays. Like it used to be, every band used to have their own thing. Jackson State had their own thing with the Elephant March and the poofy hats and, the sonic boom sound. Now they look like the Jew.
Mm-hmm.
And it's become so commonplace that the younger generation doesn't even realize that every band is actually an imitation of Southern, like their field shows and everything. And I know people gonna say, well, you're a Southern homer. No, the video and the tape is out there to prove it. Every band is an imitation. And that's the one thing I do give credit to Alabama State, is why I do like them. Because they are the least juked band. That's a new phrase. That they are the least juked out band.
I want it on the shirt.
I
want it on the shirt. You can't out-juke the juke.
Exactly. And I give credit for Jabari Morgan for that. But most of these bands that I look at I've been watching the juke since I was a little boy. They're just copies or knockoffs of the juke, and because they do it so well, everybody thinks that it's good bandmanship, and everybody thinks that it's original, but it's really just a knockoff of the juke. So the juke has to find a way to improve and lift the standard one more time because everybody's juked out.
Yeah, and that's what
point of view.
I know. I think that's a great point of view, and we're right over time. But two things I want to say. I think that's what enough people don't acknowledge. Is like people always like, oh, Southern fell off. It's like, no, everybody has fought so hard to meet our standard, like that's why it feels like a lot of parity within bands, which I love. But like Southern has always been Southern, but we just get like the moment we step foot in the gates at the vet on Sunday, boo, boo. It was like, bro, shut up. Like, shut up. They ain't even did nothing. They ain't even mark. Shut up. Like you literally are hating. And there's a group of delusional folks that just are going to be delusional no matter what. Like, and so that's a whole thing. But it made me really excited about the game on Saturday. It made me really excited about the boombox, and I'm looking forward to all of that. Before we get out of here, someone said, come on, man, y'all not winning Saturday. Stop it, man. KK side 10 in HH. Make sure that on Monday morning or Monday at 6 next week,
I fear that person is probably from another school. Why? Y'all play a Southern Miss. Why y'all worried about? Come on, man. I'm just saying.
I mean, it is what it is. We will see y'all back here. I hope that they can hear us because we keep losing connection, but I think we finish it off. Someone said great show, and go Jags. See y'all next week.
Go Jags.
my back. Hey,